fellow citizens of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. I bring you greetings from the interim government. Milton Taka is my name, your Undersecretary for Communication and Information Technology. I address you at yet another very dark hour in the history of our struggle. And while I come to you on behalf of our government, I bring you messages of courage from the leader of our nation, His Excellency Sisikwa Yutabi. I bring you messages of strength, especially to all our citizens in Manyu, in all 16 counties, where the occupier is currently unleashing yet another genocide. We bring you messages of courage to all Amazonians in all 13 counties. Your pain is very deep. Your anguish is very, very deep. Mothers are gnashing and crying everywhere. The children disappearing, the husbands and sons shot in their very eyes. Many of their husbands and children, as well as wives, cannot be accounted for by different families. It's a very painful time in our history. Fellow Amazonians from the interim government would like all of us again to remember that the interim government of the people of Amazonia has always been on the lane of peace and dialogue, because every war ends where it should have begun, and that is on the dialogue table. As we speak to you this day, we wonder why Mr. Biya and his leadership in Yaoundé are so scared of dialogue. Why are they so afraid of dialogue? Why has it been impossible for the citizens of French Cameroon to respect the dignity of Amazonians over the last 56 years? Why is it impossible for a people, the people of French Cameroon, citizens of La Republic of Cameroon, their leaders in particular, to do the right thing, especially in the 21st century? The AU, the European Union, the United Nations, the United States, and many friendly countries have called upon Mr. Biya and the government in Yaoundé to get into meaningful dialogue that addresses the root causes of this problem, which is the restoration question. Why is Mr. Biya so adamant? Why is Mr. Biya and his cabal so scared of dialogue? The message has been very consistent from the Amazonian people. You began by bringing millions to corrupt our leaders. You failed. You arrested them. You locked them up. Many remain in jail, and even in jails, you have brought millions to them. They have refused to sell the dignity of the Amazonian people. You moved into intimidation. You failed. You unleashed the worst form of genocide on the Amazonian people as they restored their independence, their statehood, their nationhood. You failed. And now, Mr. Paul Biya, you have now decided to declare war on the Amazonian people. We want to give you a message from the interim government that the truth is intoxicating. And if you doubt the collective resolve of the Amazonian people, you would know from the many you have driven out of their villages across Mali, who have spoken, known as refugees in Nigeria, that this is a journey you cannot stop. This is a mission that no brutality, no amount of intimidation, no amount of killing can stop it. We have a message for you, Yaoundé. No army has won a war against a determined people. No army. Not in Africa, not in Europe, not in the United States. We are then saying that the more you kill the Amazonian people, the more you make the chances of us building a war between the two countries a very tall wall, very possible. The more you kill Amazonian people, the more you make our mothers cry day and night. Our fathers weep like small children who've been beaten in schools. The more you make our determination and resolve stronger, and our fear is, the more you grow the hate you want to see. We want to call upon the international community to stop playing lip service. It is not enough to call on Yaoundé to get into meaningful dialogue. You cannot call on genocide crusaders, on murderers and rapists, on looters, because their military get into our villages with an instruction: loot, loot, and loot. Clean the houses, everything you see, anything of value. Break down their shops and steal everything. The United Nations, the African Union, the European Union, ECOWAS, you cannot sit on the fence and watch our people being slaughtered like animals. It's a terrible thing when you listen to a young man tell you how his father was shot on sight in front of him in cold blood, and his only crime was he was an Amazonian. His only crime was that he was in his house, buried with his money, a house that should be a safe haven for him and his family. To all colonial administrators in Amazonia, we served you a notice to quit on the 1st of October 2017. We want again to send a very strong message that your actions have been recorded and your actions will not go unpunished. The one thing we are sure is that history never lies. Justice is always served, especially to the unjust. De Joseph, colonial administrator of Manu, who shot and killed our people in cold blood, again done it. Under the clear instructions of the Commander-in-Chief, Mr. Paul, we have heard you. The formal message is, Amazonians must leave their land of birth. And yes, in your communique, you said you don't care where they go to. They can go into the ocean. They can swim into graves or go wherever. That is a crime against humanity. That is a war crime. We would want to assure the Amazonian people. The judiciary arm of your interim government is taking judiciary action to ensure that these perpetrators have their day, because we assure you that justice will be served. We assure you. But of course, none of us can be comfortable wherever we are, whether in the homeland, in Meme, in Momo, in Fako, in Gokutunda, wherever we are. An Ambazonian cannot be comfortable while another Ambazonian is under the worst form of repression, intimidation, rape, looting by a senseless government that has chosen primitivity over civilization. Tonight, the message from the interim government is unity. This is an official call. We call for unity on all fronts. We must put aside all our differences in the interest of all Ambazonians in the homeland, in the interest of motherland Ambazonia, in the interest of a nation that we have taken back, at least in our minds and in our hearts. God with us, we will do it physically. One of the strongest bridges to make this happen quicker is unity. Fellow Ambazonians, we must stop being self-destructive. In the political school that I've been a student in for very long, you don't criticize your own in public. No, you don't do that. You come in the house. You fight in the house. You even exchange blows in the house. But when you do that, the motto is, we must disagree to agree. Why can we not disagree to agree? When we send mixed messages out, what are we doing? We are then tonight calling on all fronts that have not aligned in the interest of our revolution. We are saying align. We are saying let's unite. A bridge cannot be built by one party. It must willingly be built by all parties. And when you build bridges, you must remember the great lesson of Nelson Mandela, who was in jail for 27 years. But when he came out, he forgave the whites. Let's keep differences aside. My wrong might indeed not be a wrong. It depends on which perspective you're looking at it. But we need to sit around a table. We need to debate on our own issues as one people with one power. Ambazonians. Ambazonians for life. Something we did not choose. Something ordained by God. And having said that, we ask all fronts. We ask all Ambazonians who use social media to divide our people. This is the wrong time. The attack on Manu is a call for you. That is an attack on Ambazonia, from north to south and west to east. That's an attack on every quarter, every village, and every town in Ambazonia. If we do not unite for Manu, the fear is they will move very soon, Meme. Then they will jump to Mesam, and so on. But when we unite as one, when we are unstoppable, this terrorist occupier, this black colonizer will know that their days are over. Ambazonians, let's unite. This is the time for unity. Now, what is the implication of the assault on Manu? The implication of that is that every Ambazonian alive and yet to be born is under attack. Whether at home or in the diaspora, we need to stand up and defend motherland. We need to stand up like one man and defend that land of birth. We need to stand as one man and protect Ambazonia, protect Manu, protect and defend our refugees that have unfortunately crossed over to Nigeria. Ensure we are able to assist those that are hiding in forests, the wounded, and most importantly, give everyone that has fallen under the brutality of the occupier a state burial. How is that possible? How can we defend Ambazonia? The interim government had a cabinet meeting chaired by His Excellency Sikwa Yoktai. An official call, Fund the Revolution, a global fundraising call came out of the cabinet meeting. We are, by this announcement, officially calling all Ambazonians in the homeland and in the diaspora to rise up now more than ever before. This is a great time to sacrifice. Sacrifice your comfort. Sacrifice school fees for your children. This is a message particularly to Ambazonians in the diaspora. This is a time when we must sacrifice more than ever before. The language in every Ambazonian community in the diaspora has got to be fundraising. Every single Ambazonian in the diaspora must have their name in the book of history. We are calling on Operation 10,000 within the next 3 days. 10,000 Ambazonians, under the sound of our voice from the interim government, should tonight and tomorrow transfer between $300 to $500 into the account of your leadership, the Ambazonian community where you're based. This is a clarion call. This is a call to defend motherland. This is a call that when you hear it, you must pass it. Make all our people get this call now, not tomorrow. Let's fund a restoration revolution. Let's fund the struggle more than ever before. And to those of you that God has blessed with things, we are calling on Operation 500. Operation 500 within the next 3 days. Please, in the interest of our fallen heroes, drop between $1,000 to $50,000 in the account of your different community groups. We need that money now more than ever before. This money will answer the questions you've been asking. Remember your questions. You have the answer. Ambazonians, this call cannot wait for tomorrow. I want to reiterate this call again. The Department of Finance and Economy are building a message for you. You now know that our website, the new website of the interim government, has been opened. www.ambergov.org. www.ambergov.org. Those of you who are paying your citizen levies of $20 a month, thank you so much and God bless you. Your accounts have been transferred into the new platform. If you are sponsoring a teacher, if you are sponsoring a lawyer, please continue doing that. And to those of you who have not hit to that call, please join us and let's begin to adopt different refugee communities. But the call tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the call tonight, fellow Ambazonians, is donation. Please donate. Please sacrifice. The interim government of the Ambazonian people has a baseline budget where the impossible will be made possible. This can only be done by Ambazonians. We must do it for motherland. We must do it for our suffering. You know your story and I know my story. We know the story of the neighbor next door, neighbor. We know the story of the uncle next door, Ashu. We know our stories in all our communities. We have suffered for too long. God ordained this struggle. We have come so far. So many victories have been registered. We are close to crossing the finishing line. Ambazonia for Ambazonia. And with all Ambazonians on deck, nothing will stop us. So, under the sound of this instruction from the interim government, we ask all country leaders to almost immediately organize fundraisings. And when you organize the fundraisings, get directives from the Department of Economic and Finance. We need to make critical contributions. We need the critical mass more than ever before because we must stop La Republic. We must stop the rot. We must stop the rape. We must stop the murder. We cannot continue to cry. And to Ambazonians on social media, you are doing a wonderful job. But remember, your mouth should be where your pocket is. The language now is contributes. That is the official language. So I am coming here tonight to give Ambazonians a word of encouragement. Make Ambazonians know that God ordained this struggle to make Ambazonians know that we will never have our dreams realized in the illegal union called the Cameroons. Make Ambazonians know that we are all restorationists. Reject anybody who calls you a secessionist. Reject anybody who calls you a separatist. We emphasize on this because it's important that we communicate right. You can only become a secessionist if you're a part of La Republic when they achieved independence on the 1st of January 1960. History knows that we were a country. We were former British Southern Cameroons. So yes, we cannot secede. History equally knows that we have had an illegal union over 56 years with La République du Cameroon, our neighbors. La République du Cameroon cannot prove anywhere in a local or international court that we are one people. So how can we separate when there's no marriage certificate? Pa Mulando Litumba says, Njumba no be married. So this Njumba has ended. We have restored our statehood. We will defend the restoration and we will free Ambazonia because not too long we will be in Boya, where we will have an opportunity again to plan together, to build together, to make mistakes together, and make Amazonia become one of the greatest nations on earth. God bless you. I thank you. And please, let's do the right thing for Ambazonia. Long live Ambazonia. Long live our determined people. Boya, we will see in our lifetime soon. Thank you.